In terms of things like personal details, the only time we would take personal details are if we incentivise anything and we're doing a prize draw of any kind, and that will only be kept on file with us until the consultation findings aren't needed anymore and until the prize draw has been done. We use SurveyMonkey for our online toolkit, but we use their secure servers. So it's not just the standard SurveyMonkey we're using, we pay extra to use the secure servers for the encryption of that data. We have consent forms that we get everybody to sign, and that's for audio as well as for video, so and for photography as well. Any projects that we're using along those sort of lines, we have to basically ask consent from people to use them and explain to them that these might be going online. Particularly from the video aspect, we will have a briefing session with the young people before we get started, go back to the health inequalities one, as well as take them through and take them through to use the different equipment that we lent them for the period of the time they were doing the consultation. We also talked them through what the project was about, what we wanted from them in terms of what they should go away and think about, but also what was going to happen afterwards in terms of where that content was going to go, who was going to potentially see it, and the part it was going to play in the bigger consultation, and who it was for, particularly if it was for a partner. So we certainly would make sure that the young person is fully aware and signs consent to say they were happy for us to use that video footage, and if necessary, speak to a parent and guardian or to make sure they're comfortable with it as well. I suppose things like Voice Against Violence is a good example of a project we did. We did various training with them, but we ran a consultation with them. Voice Against Violence was a young people's group, young people who all had experience of domestic abuse, and they wanted to create a website around domestic abuse, but they also wanted to do some consultation work to see what people's perceptions of domestic abuse was in Scotland. And we worked with them to try and decide what the best way to do that would be, and they decided themselves. So obviously there's an aspect of they didn't want to be recognised, or the personal side of things was not something we could put up front and centre for them. We did create a video as part of that, but what we did was they did the voiceover, and it was a graphical video that led into the consultation itself, led into the survey. Within the survey that we did for Voice Against Violence, one of the first things that people saw when they got to it was details of childline, or to speak to an adult or parent if they had any issues. We haven't had any major problems with people coming to us through that method. We wouldn't really ask questions that were, I suppose, as personal as that. The Voice Against Violence one was very much about young people's perception of domestic abuse and what it was, rather than whether they had any direct experience of it and getting details about that. We haven't, through things like our social media, we've had people contact us around maybe concerns they've had or particular issues that they find problems with. We would signpost them on to relevant experts